and are you ready for the event?
Since the first humans looked up at the stars, we've wondered, what's out there? How did we get here? And are we alone? Around the world, scientists and engineers are committed to answering these questions and many more. James Beecham and Kate Shaw are working to unlock the secrets of the universe.
What happened a fraction of a second after the Big Bang? Because these are the things that keep us up at night.
NASA's Morgan Cable is on the hunt for extraterrestrial life.
We are looking for life on the edge. All right, let's go.
Maggie Lou prepares to risk everything to journey into deep space.
I applied for a one-way trip to Mars.
Congratulations.
Someone has to take that first step, right?
And a team of students dream of building the rockets of the future.
Guys, if you're talking unnecessarily in here, get out. We need quiet.
There's nowhere more exciting in the history of science than right here, right now.
In Pasadena, NASA scientist Dr. Morgan Cable has an obsession with space. Not going there, but finding out if anyone lives there.
My work revolves around Cassini, Saturn, Titan, places in the outer solar system, and also Mars. So I study places that have all of the three ingredients for life as we know it: water, chemistry, energy, to try to see if there's evidence of life.
For 3 years, Morgan has worked at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
Hey, how's it going?
It's the realization of a lifelong dream.
I grew up right next to Kennedy Space Center. So NASA has always been a part of my life. My dad also worked for NASA. He passed away about 2 months ago. And I really wish he was here. Every day I try to make him proud. And I couldn't imagine doing anything else. And I know I am making him proud. Yeah.
For over 30 years, JPL has been sending probes out into deep space to increase our knowledge, searching for life and habitable worlds.
We need to be thinking about how to expand beyond our tiny blue marble, right? And be able to establish places where we can survive and indeed thrive elsewhere. You can see code, data coming in from all of our spacecraft. There's Curiosity, which is roving around Mars, Juno, which is on its way to Jupiter. But my favorite two are Voyagers 1 and 2. And these spacecraft were launched back in the 1970s. They are now out in interstellar space, and they're still going. And we're getting signal from them. It's an amazing feat of engineering.
NASA is gearing up for one of its most ambitious rover projects, the $1.5 billion Mars 2020 mission. The rover can only collect a limited amount of samples. Morgan's work will help inform NASA when selecting the right landing spot. Step 1. Search for life at Earth's closest equivalent to Mars.
One of the best Mars analogs here on Earth that we can study is Iceland. It's got a lot of volcanic formations. We can use some of the research that we get from that to hopefully apply to future Mars missions. You want to collect that one sample to bring all the way back to Earth to prove there is life on Mars. Where do you look? How are you sure? That's what we're trying to answer.
While NASA plans its rover mission, a private Dutch venture believes humanity's future depends on sending people to the Red Planet. Astrophysicist Maggie Lou wants to be one of them. whatever the cost.
Since a young age, I've always wanted to go into space. And that's why I signed up for the one-way mission to Mars.
Mars One is behind this one-way journey to Mars. More than 200,000 people from around the world responded to the first call for astronauts to permanently reside in Mars.
I want to be a pioneer going to Mars, doing stuff that no one's ever done before.
Today, Maggie is traveling to London for the first round of Mars One interviews. More than 200,000 people registered, but only a few hundred, including Maggie, have been selected.
When I was younger, I was fascinated about the whole universe. I used to look up at the stars and think, what is out there? And that's kind of why I did my first degree in space science. I wanted to go and work for NASA. People generally are really shocked when they find out that I'm an astrophysicist. In academia, they're kind of dismissive. I always try to prove them wrong. I'm really nervous now.
The interview is being held at a private location via a remote video link.
The next 20 minutes or so is crucial.
The content of the interview is restricted, and therefore all filming has to stop.
Wish me luck. Okay, I've logged in.
Today, Maggie finds out if she's made the cut.
Congratulations. You are one step closer to launching the dawn of a new era, human life on Mars. Wow. I've got a lot of people to talk to. I don't know what my mum will think.
Maggie's mum moved here from Vietnam 40 years ago and started a family.
So you're gonna miss me when I go to Mars?
Khi mô bị vậy mà. Khi mô bị mẹ ham đó.
It's okay.
Area is clear. Check.
In the Netherlands, a group of young engineering students dream of being the next generation of rocket pioneers.
I wanted to be a pilot, and then I found out that spaceships go higher. So then I wanted to be an astronaut.
I think that the true power of spacecraft is that it inspires little boys and girls in a very tangible way to do something in engineering, to show them that the world and indeed the universe is so much bigger than the things that you see in your living room. Insert secondary key in Gabriel and turn to on position.
To prove their passion and their ability, they're building a rocket, and today they're testing an engine
Okay.
in a park.
We do a lot of small-scale research, and we have set up one of our very small rocket engines. It's literally tiny, but it's a real rocket engine. 10 seconds, and it allows us to do some really fundamental tests.
3, 2, 1, ignition. So, misfire. Okay, this is not supposed to happen. I was just connecting the wrong channel, so that can happen.
Would you be so kind as to open the door, sir?
They may be students, but they're dedicated to taking on this huge challenge. Rob Hermsen and the team want to break the European student altitude record with their rocket, Stratos 2.
Have to see this. It's the actual, the complete technical model of the capsule, like we're gonna build it.
The goal with Stratos 2 is that we, as students, take the next step towards finally reaching space.
Their ambitious plan is to launch their rocket higher than the current record of 12.3 kilometers. Then activate a parachute for touchdown and safe retrieval at sea.
When I see the rocket being put together and each further step that comes along the way, yeah, that just brings a rush of excitement. I like that.
Everybody is very enthusiastic about the project that we have here. I think everybody wants to work for that, everybody wants to put time in it, and I think that is something that we all share. But of course, all the personalities are different.
After a year of hard work, they have permission to launch the rocket from a Spanish base in 3 months' time.
Nobody has any illusions. What we're doing isn't easy, and what we're doing has a significant chance of failure.
Coming up,
All right, let's go.
Morgan arrives in Iceland and sets to work.
We really need to get this nailed down if we want to try to finish this all in the field. We just have a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it in.
And the Dare rocket team arrives in Spain to prepare for launch.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition.
Dr. Morgan Cable is working to help NASA's Mars 2020 rover mission to search for life on Mars. Morgan is in Iceland to test theories of where life might be found on the barren red planet.
We are looking for life on the edge, and Iceland is a great place to do that because it's very similar in geology to other places in the solar system. For example, the Apollo astronauts trained here to prepare them for the moon. Come on, guys, let's go, let's move.
If life exists here, picking a geologically similar landing site on Mars will give the best chance of finding it there too.
Register.
All right, let's go. All right, I see some nice stuff down there. Keep going. Very nice.
It's crucial Morgan's team picks exactly the right spot on Iceland, as the Mars rover can only collect and store a limited amount of samples.
By the time we get a piece of Mars soil and we carry it all the way back to Earth, that will be the most precious resource. It'll be more expensive than diamond, platinum, anything. And so we really want to be sure we get the right one.
The samples have been collected across a wide area of volcanic soil.
And so those are our 3 sampling sites.
Morgan only has a limited amount of time to analyze the samples before taking the findings back to NASA.
We really need to get this nailed down if we want to try to finish this all in the field. We just have a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it in. Okay. So let's see what we can see.
If the spectrometer can't find molecules that indicate past or present living organisms, the trip won't have been a success. The mission to Mars just got harder.
The hardest part is the waiting.
But then...
Wow. Look! Yay! We just got the spectra to end all spectra. Look at this. That is beautiful. We got 3 good samples in a row. I need to high-five somebody.
Finally, 3 samples taken from one of the most inhospitable parts of our planet show signs of life.
So this will help us be able to inform future Mars missions, because now we can look for minerals that we see on Mars and maybe draw some correlations between the life that we find here in Iceland and maybe the life we'll find on Mars one day, hopefully soon.
Samples taken by the rover may take years to reach Earth, but Morgan's passion for her work will never fade.
I feel that life is more than just getting through the day, eating, reading the paper, having kids. Life is more than that. It's leaving the world better than the way you found it when you were born. You can do that in a lot of different ways. I think that the best way I can do it is to improve our state of knowledge of the universe, and NASA is the best place to do that.
Maggie Lou has recently been told she passed the first stage of selection for a manned mission to Mars. And now, she's become a media sensation.
Maggie Lou is amongst the group chosen to colonize the Red Planet.
Congratulations, how exciting.
Prior to takeoff, 10 years of training must occur.
The prolonged exposure to zero gravity will push Maggie's body to the limit. Her muscles will shrink, and her spine will be dangerously stretched.
At the moment, humans have only gone as far as the moon, so if we want to go to Mars, we need better technologies. I'm here today to meet a PhD student called Julia, and she's working on some new revolutionizing space technology for deep space travel.
Maggie has heard that a pioneering new suit could help protect her body from the dangers of deep space travel.
The idea is that you essentially attempt to recreate the loading, so the pull, the gravitational pull that we feel on Earth even just by standing. So basically there's incremental graduated tension as we go down and down, so that at the foot, once the stirrups are done up, underneath your foot, you're basically carrying that extra load.
So do you think this is going to be a game changer in space travel?
We hope so.
The real test of the suit's potential will happen in just over 3 months' time, when this man, Andreas Mogensen, will wear it aboard the International Space Station.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I'm Andreas. Welcome to the European Astronaut Center.
ESA has granted Maggie access to this training facility to meet him and to understand the level of preparation required prior to launch.
All right, Maggie, let's have a look at our control room.
Wow. So, Andreas, you're going to be up there on the ISS in a
in just over 3 months, I'll be up there. This is our training hall. This is where we spend most of our time here at the Astronaut Center.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's a fantastic facility.
This unique installation holds exact replicas of spacecraft and modules built to train astronauts.
So we have all the facilities necessary to train on the European hardware that's part of the International Space Station.
One of the most important modules is the exact replica of Columbus, the science lab on the International Space Station.
You can walk through the hatch or fly through it in space.
I think this is pretty cool, except you can't wear heels in space, and I was hoping to bring mine up. This is definitely the best thing ever.
To reach Mars, Maggie would have to travel for 7 months in a capsule the size of Columbus. But that will only be half the challenge.
You've spent many years training just to go to the ISS, and you're only spending a couple of weeks up there.
Yeah.
Do you think that 10 years worth of training is enough to prepare someone for a lifetime on Mars?
If you take the International Space Station, there's no way that I have enough training to be able to fully repair and fix anything that would happen on board the space station. On a Mars mission, I mean, you would really need to be able to fix and repair anything, any system. You have to have a really, really in-depth knowledge of all the systems. It's going to be a big challenge.
It'll be a huge challenge.
The DARE team is at a Spanish space agency facility near Mazagon, hoping to set a record with their rocket Stratos 2.
There's hardly any cooler things that you can do than launching big rockets like we do today.
A year ago, they were in the same spot for their first launch attempt.
So here we are in the mission control. This is the nerve center of our operation. Last year I was the project leader. I remember sitting here in this same control room. We got to the point of firing the igniter.
3, 2, 1, lift off.
The main valve in the system didn't function properly. I now remember how these people were seated here, realizing that the launch didn't go on. That's a difficult thing. And now I realize really how bad I actually want this thing to work now.
The DARE team is determined to banish the failures of the past and successfully launch the same rocket this time.
We're about to put the capsule together, do final assembly on it, and put it on the rocket so that the rocket's actually complete. You know, the reality is that everything on this thing is experimental. Nothing's been tested before.
The authorities have cleared the airspace for a launch window in just a few hours' time.
Oh, a bit stressed.
Very cool to see it all coming together like this.
Could you turn it down a little bit?
We just need to rush, that's it.
Slowly, 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 slowly. First ring.
We have to calibrate the measurement system in the rocket, otherwise it won't detect apogee properly. And one of the procedures we need to do is turn the whole capsule upside down. And obviously this is a bit of a scary operation because we really don't want to drop it now.
Okay,
done. Check.
Good to go.
Starts looking like a rocket right now. I think it's actually the first time we put it together in the campaign.
Guys, rocket is ready for transportation to the pad.
11 forward. Understood. So lift the rocket. 3, 2, 1. Oh, start away. Stop.
Yeah, go. All the time and effort, the sleepless nights and the stress. This is where it all comes together. And lifting in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, and people there, step back, go. 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 Go, we're nearly there.
The team heads to the command center comprised of an observation room and mission control to prepare for the launch.
Bet, this is OP. Is everybody ready? Over.
We're moving again.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. We have a false ignition, no liftoff. Over.
No ignition.
All stations misfire. Over.
FTS, aboard.
Disarm successful.
Terminate, don't send.
Why did I have to call terminate? I didn't like that because I usually shouldn't do that. Well, that's
We're gonna do some technical analysis now later. I'm just first gonna go and get this tower back again, and then we'll see further.
In terms of launch attempts, yeah, today's definitely over.
It's a freaking bummer. It can be that it's tomorrow the last real chance to get everything right. I don't think our story's over yet.
Coming up.
Guys, if you're talking unnecessarily in here, get out.
The DARE rocket team is running out of time.
We're ready to roll out the rocket to the pad. Over.
It's either today or nowhere.
And the world's largest science experiment is about to be switched on.
There's nowhere more exciting in the history of science than right here, right now.
In Switzerland,
Bonjour. Ça va?
two leading astrophysicists are preparing for the switch-on of the world's largest science experiment.
We're in.
Dr. James Beecham and Dr. Kate Shaw are hoping to unlock the secrets of time and space.
The next big milestone for us is looking to understand the universe that we live in.
This is the most exciting time in the history of particle physics.
100 meters below the CERN science complex is the Large Hadron Collider, the world's largest particle accelerator.
The Large Hadron Collider is a tube, 27 kilometers in circumference, and protons are injected in opposite directions and collide about 40 million times every second.
The reason we collide protons is that we know that if two particles getting close enough, then they can actually annihilate and cease to exist, and a new particle pops into existence where they used to be. if you have a really sharp knife, you could cut a billiard ball in half and then cut the half in half. There's stuff down inside there, right? Okay, what about you get down far enough you can cut until you get like a molecule? Okay, that's great. Can you cut a molecule? Yes, we can, because they're made up of atoms that are stuck together with forces. Okay, so we can cut the molecule. Can you cut the atom? Yes, we can, because we know there's like an electron cloud and some protons and neutrons in the middle. Okay, so we can cut an atom. What about the nucleus? Can we cut the nucleus? Yes, we can, because it's made up of protons and neutrons. What about a proton? Can we cut a proton? How far can we go? The answer is yes, we can cut a proton. There's 3 quarks inside of a proton, and plus and minus some other stuff. But can you cut a quark? As far as we know, no, you cannot cut a quark, nor can you cut an electron, nor can you cut the Higgs boson. And that's what particle physics is looking for these smallest possible uncuttable pieces of nature that you can't go any further.
I think we have it.
The last time it was turned on was 2010. Then, in 2012, it was announced that the Higgs boson, or God particle, had been discovered.
Everybody who was involved and is involved in the project can be proud of this day.
The collider has been dormant for 2 years, but now it's ready to be switched on again. It will be turned up to its highest level yet in the hope it will open new windows into the fabric of the universe.
We are interested in what happened a fraction of a second after the Big Bang. What happened prior to the Big Bang? Is our universe just part of a multiverse? These are the more important questions. These are the things that keep us up at night.
Dr. Kate Shaw works for one of the control rooms at CERN called Atlas, where they monitor the collisions.
This is the mother of the beast. Let's go. Not many people are allowed in here, but here we are, the Atlas control room.
Kate has worked at CERN for 4 years, the culmination of a lifelong passion for knowledge.
I'm interested in basically everything, and I wanted to read when I was younger about everything, because I just felt like if you're interested in something, you can just, it's amazing, you just read a book and then you know, and then you're like, oh, how fascinating, and you have more questions. So it's just this process of learning that I really enjoy. So 100 meters below our feet is this big thing, the Atlas detector, as big as a cathedral. This is a hugely complicated machine. It's one of the biggest in the world, using a lot of electronics, a lot of systems that are brand new that we've actually been designing specifically for this.
While Kate monitors the collisions, Dr. James Beecham and his team have to crunch the staggering 1 petabyte or million gigabytes of data each collision generates every second.
We are here in the heart of the CERN data center, and we're surrounded by basically a computer. We're in the middle of a computer right now, one of the largest computers in the world.
It's a challenge that is relished by James and his curious mind.
Why and how? And these are the questions that really have driven me since a very little kid. Whether I'm asking, how does a manta ray, swim, or how does light come through the atmosphere and turn it different colors, that I see. Really, this question of why and how is the thing that has driven me. And you can keep asking this and keep asking this and keep asking this, and eventually you get to particle physics. The thing that most people focus on when they think about CERN and the LHC are the big blue magnet tubes, but that's only one half of the story. The other half of the story is this. Because this is where the real magic is happening. Whatever, we collide a bunch of protons here at the LHC, we take a bunch of data, but what does it mean if we can't actually do anything with it, if we can't actually make sense of it? This is where the real physics, the new physics is going on.
In just 48 hours, James and Kate's work will begin, finding needles in one of the largest data haystacks science has ever created. Aspiring Mars astronaut Maggie Liu has been invited back to ESA. Today she is meeting Julia, who is here to check up on the progress of the skin suit.
Hello.
Hey.
You all right?
How are you?
I'm good. How have you been?
Astronaut Andreas has since rocketed into space and is now in orbit on board the International Space Station.
All right, so welcome to the Eurocom room. So this is where we talk back to the astronauts when they call us from space during science activities. So if you hear in the movies when they call down on Houston and there's a voice that comes back from Earth, that's us.
In orbit, Andreas has been testing the gravity-simulating skin suit.
I saw him exercising on the bike yesterday, wearing that and using the mobile heart rate monitor, so it'd be really cool to see those results.
Did he seem okay?
He seemed fun, yeah.
Station, are you ready for the event?
It feels really cool to be back again and to be able to see the live images from space. They're always really breathtaking.
We are ready for the event.
Countries from across the globe are tuning into this live press conference. Only a handful of questions are permitted, and Maggie is allowed to ask one.
All right, that's a good one.
Please stand by for a voice check from ESA PAO.
Station, this is ESA PAO in Cologne. How do you hear me?
We have you loud and clear, Jules.
Hello guys, hello Andreas, you look good up there. My first question comes actually from Maggie that you met before your flight, and she wants to know if everything that you imagine in space is how it is, in fact.
Well, some things are how I imagined it, but in general, I'd say this is such a unique place that it's very, very difficult. I mean, we have excellent training models, but nothing compares to actually being on board the International Space Station, or even for that matter, launching on Soyuz and being weightless for the first time and just working on here. It's really a unique place. So in many ways, I'd say it's almost impossible to imagine what it's going to be like until you actually get up here. Good.
Have a safe flight, guys, and see you soon.
Thanks, Jules.
SS will be resuming normal space-to-ground communication.
Yay!
Yeah. Has seeing that made a difference to you?
Definitely. I think...
In what way?
I've just got so much going on in my head at the moment.
Yeah.
After working for hours, trying to find out why their rocket didn't launch,
Manish, come on. It's on the table, the red box. On the table.
the DARE team finally have a breakthrough.
What we found was that one of these valves, which was inside this compartment, did not get supplied enough voltage to open. So that's what we fixed. Everything has to be perfect, because if there is a slightest mistake, well, it doesn't work.
With weather closing in, this could be their final chance.
We're ready to roll out the rocket to the pad. Over.
It's either today or never.
This is pad, over.
The rocket is connected to the nitrous oxide fuel line, and the team heads to the command center.
Flight, we are go for launch, over.
This is flight. We are go for launch in T-minus 5 minutes out. You are go for filling, over.
Understood, we are go for filling, over. As you can see, they're both going up, so that means we're currently filling the rocket. Okay, actuating disconnecting. 3, 2, 1, mark. Ah, God.
The fuel line won't detach, and it's too dangerous to approach the rocket.
Pyro, this is pad, over. We have a negative disconnect, over.
Coming up.
There's a halt in the system at T-minus 2 minutes, 23 seconds.
The DARE team need a plan to launch their stuck rocket, and fast.
3, 2, 1.
And after talking to Andreas live from space, Maggie has a big decision to make.
How have you been? You still want to be a Mars One candidate?
In Switzerland, Dr. James Beecham, Dr. Kate Shaw, and an elite group of scientists are preparing for the switch-on of the world's largest particle accelerator, the Large Hadron Collider.
You can block it there. Everything is connected.
The collider will be turned up to its highest energy setting yet.
The reason we do what we do here, we're colliding protons together at the highest energy ever, 13 tera electron volts. It's because there's reason to believe that our understanding of nature at its very smallest scales is incomplete.
We're ready and we're just raring to go, so we're just getting excited waiting for beam.
I mean, you've got goosebumps. You're kind of like, please, 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 everything work, because you're kind of you want to see everything light up the way it should, so that you know when you go and look at the data later, you can make decisions as to whether or not we find new particles.
Stage 1, firing up the beams.
Okay, so we've got beam in the LHC now. It's extremely hard to get these to collide together. It's similar to trying to make two knitting needles from 7 miles apart hit each other, bang on.
By violently smashing protons together at these speeds, the hope is new subatomic particles will be revealed, giving us a better understanding of the universe.
There are totally unanswered questions that our current mathematical theory does not answer. And the current theory is really, really good. And when I say mathematical theory, it's called the standard model of particle physics. It's like this perfect mathematical thing that corresponds to reality. But they said it's perfect. It's not. It's imperfect. It's actually totally incomplete. There's things both huge and very, very small about it that further pushing forward on the boundaries to help try to explain some of the things that the standard model of particle physics does not explain.
We've just had our first collisions. So these are first collisions at 13 TeV with stable beams. So this is now we're taking data for physics.
Congratulations, everybody. Fantastic achievement. It's great to see Atlas running again with stable beams.
But work is just beginning for James and his team. It may take years to scour the data, but just one new discovery could unlock the very origins of the universe.
It's not really a matter of whether we're going to find something interesting. We definitely will find something interesting. The entire experiment is interesting because it's such a large amount of data that there's definitely gold in there somewhere. Just we don't really know what form it's going to take. Stay tuned, because this is just going to get better and better. There's nowhere more exciting in possibly the history of science than right here, right now.
For months, Maggie agonized over whether to continue with the Mars One project. Today, she wants to tell Jules, her old ESA contact, that she's finally made a decision.
Hi, Jules.
Hi, Maggie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. How have you been? You still want to be a Mars One candidate?
After meeting you and Andreas at ESA, I've decided to withdraw from the Mars One mission. So I've applied for a job to work at ESA to do research as a research fellowship. And I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, so I'll be working in Madrid.
Wow, that's very good to hear, Maggie. Thank you. Well, welcome to the ESA family then.
I don't think I will ever give up my dream of going to space. It's still something I'm really passionate about. I'm addicted to knowledge. I want to know more about the universe, so I really want to explore that.
The umbilical disconnect did not happen. Negative disconnect of the umbilical. So there's a halt in the system at T-minus 2 minutes, 23 seconds.
In southern Spain, a group of young engineers are trying to launch a rocket, but the nitrous oxide fuel line won't detach. Now they can't launch it, and it's too dangerous to go near.
Have you tried turning it on and off again?
Right now we're trying to define the exact steps to take. There we'll define exactly what we're going to do.
Just hold on for a second. Cycling disconnect is one option. Opening FV2 in a short burst is a second option.
Or you go up to the rocket and pull it out, but that's not very cool.
Can you clarify the exact scheme you want to do, and also whether you need main valve to open? Over.
Our advice is to attempt releasing the disconnect with a bit of pressure from the nitrous oxide cylinders.
Yes, that's correct. Out.
Well.
Okay. So 3, 2, 1. Open.
Oh, yeah. Positive disconnect. Flight, this is Pat, over. We have a positive feed disconnect, over.
Understood. Positive feed disconnect. We will continue with the countdown in a while.
Okay.
We are back in business.
So now we are again back to T-minus 2 minutes before launch.
And it's slingshot around a bit, but it looks pretty good. And it is disconnected most of all.
Okay, my God.
T-minus 1 minute. Over.
1 minute, guys.
Now would be the time.
T-minus 40 seconds.
Nervous.
T-minus 20 seconds.
15, 14, 13.
Oh, they must be sweating like hell.
10, 9,
8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
3, 2,
1.
ignition. Lift off.
Check the telemetry, man! Awesome! Awesome! Man! Space! Awesome! Oh my God!
Their rocket has reached 21.5 kilometers, successfully smashing the amateur record of 12.3 kilometers.
Like, if you spend like almost 20% of your life working on a mission and then you see it fly, that's just amazing. I'm afraid I've lost your rocket.
Thank you. Absolutely no idea how freaking happy everybody is. Seeing that thing fly off and seeing the ground drop away of that were the shortest 400 seconds of my life.
Man, good job.
Done aerospace next.
Yeah, man. You know it.
Well, the idea is to go to space eventually, but we have to look back at today. It's one of the best moments of my life, I think.